Noah, thanks. Roads continue to be a problem for many in the rural parts of the region. Many schools stay closed for another day today, and they will tomorrow because of it. We spent some time in the River Valley today to see how road clearing efforts were going. Fort Smith Street Department says the biggest challenge comes when the sun goes down.
It is melting. It's turning liquid and water right now, but it's going to refreeze. Wherever there's patches of that water is going to be ice in the morning. We can't do anything with it. We run the plows. The plows skim right over to the top layer, and we make no headway on it.
Butler says crews have been working nonstop around the clock to get those roads as clear as they can since last Friday. Meanwhile, an Arkansas Department of Transportation salt truck slid off the road today in Fort Smith. It happened this morning. Viewers sent us these photos that were taken after the truck had slid off near Zero and Old Greenwood Road. The agency says the truck hit a utility pole, but the driver was not injured. Cold water rescue training is very critical this time of year. When conditions are right and the water freezes over, fire departments use the opportunity to train for emergencies. 5 News reporter Laura Castleman is in the studio now after talking with the Bentonville Fire Department to find out how it prepares and, Laura, why this training could save lives.
Yep, that's right, Darren. Firefighters are putting themselves in the freezing water, all to be ready for someone else's worst day. They're practicing cold water rescues with a focus on moving fast and staying safe where every second counts. The training includes using specialized equipment like rescue boats to reach stranded victims as quickly as possible, even in the most extreme conditions.
Well, ice water rescue is kind of one of those low frequency events that we don't respond to often, but it has a high risk with the people going inside the water, possibly get hypothermia. Battalion Chief Gene Holland says these calls may not happen often. By doing this training in this ice event, it helps prepare our personnel so in the event there is an emergency, we're able to respond more quickly.
If we do have an incident, something that we have to be prepared for.
Firefighter Zachary Cisneros says practicing in these conditions builds confidence.
We've got 6 people every day that are trained to a water rescue level, and so we work as a team. So usually that consists of putting most, 2 people out in the water, and then we've got people on shore.
Working as a team, not just for cold water rescues.
Every quarter we'll do training, and that usually consists of different skills. So our technical rescue team is trained from anything from trench rescue, high angle rope rescue, swift water rescue, confined space rescue, low angle rescue, cold water rescue.
But if they do have one word of advice for those thinking about going onto the ice,
don't walk on any ice.
By staying away from ice is going to be the safest way so you don't fall through and risk yourself.
Enjoy the view, just don't get too close. The department's technical rescue team trains year-round for all kinds of emergencies, but cold weather offers a rare opportunity to practice on real ice under real conditions. Laura Castleman, 5 News.
All right, Laura, thanks. Firefighters in Oklahoma City were also practicing ice water rescues this week. OKC's battalion chief reiterated the same warnings to not walk on the ice. He also gave some more insight into how exactly that special boat works.
But then once they're there at the victim, this specially designed rescue craft, we don't even have to pull the victim over and in. We just have there's a hole in the middle of it, and we just pull them straight up onto the inflated part of the boat.
McCann recommended staying at least 10 feet away from any type of body of water during freezing temperature season. We told you last night about the history made in Washington County. An all-woman snowplow crew worked a truck during this weekend's winter storm, and we got to meet those history makers today. Leah Wendell works alongside sister duo Chloe and Delaney Weir, third-generation equipment operators stepping into a role traditionally dominated by men. They say they hope to encourage more women to pursue careers like this after learning more on the job than they ever imagined.
When I first started here, I was just a flagger, but in the past 2 years, I've gained my CDL, learned how to drive and all that. I've started learning equipment, just all that stuff. Even if you don't want to stay with the road department, there's still a lot of skills that transfer over from here.
Though the only women on the crew, they say the bond they've built within the department feels just like home. Happening today in Fort Smith, a protest was held in front of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services field office on Kelly Highway. Protesters gathered to rally against the recent federal officer-involved shootings in Minnesota. We asked one protester why she was rallying today.
We need to be a nation that goes by our Constitution and our laws. And Christine Ohm is frightening to me. With both shootings in Minneapolis lately, she's immediately come out with something saying that it was justified.
Many similar protests will take place tomorrow and this weekend. Organizers are calling it a national shutdown, calling for people to not go to work, not go to school, and to rally against ICE activity. Protests have continued daily in the state of Minnesota since the shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy earlier this month. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, a Senate Democrat source has told CBS News a deal has been reached to pass 5 spending bills needed to avoid a shutdown and fund a large portion of the government. Erica Brown reports the development comes after Senate Democrats blocked funding legislation in the wake of the federal officer-involved shootings in Minnesota.
The deal between Democrats and the White House includes funding various government agencies with 5 spending bills, while removing the Department of Homeland Security from the broader spending package. It comes as negotiations for reforms to ICE are set to get underway in the wake of the deadly shootings by federal agents in Minneapolis. In a social media post, President Trump said, quote, "Republicans and Democrats have come together to get the vast majority of the government funded until September." At a cabinet meeting Thursday, the president expressed hope an agreement would be reached.
I think we're getting close. The Democrats, I don't believe, want to see it either. So we'll work in a very bipartisan way, I believe, not to have a shutdown.
The deal also includes a measure to temporarily fund the Department of Homeland Security for 2 weeks at its current levels, while lawmakers negotiate changes to immigration and customs enforcement during that time.
If Republicans refuse to work with us to rein in ICE and to end the violence, they're telling the American people they're choosing to protect ICE over choosing to protect people's safety.
I mean, Chuck Schumer wants to shut down the government because he wants to hurt Donald Trump. This is not to solve problems. If he cared about this, why didn't he do it when they had power? If they cared about putting control on ICE, they could have done this.
On the Senate floor, Democratic Minority Leader Chuck Schumer called for ICE reforms, including ending roving patrols, preventing agents from wearing masks during enforcement operations, and keeping body cameras on. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Any deal would need to be passed by the House. Lawmakers in that chamber are not set to return to Washington until Monday, meaning there could be a partial shutdown even if all sides agree on this way forward. New tonight, back here at home, Prairie Grove's mayor says the fire chief has been placed on paid leave because of a criminal investigation. John Dobbs was officially placed on leave last Monday. According to the mayor, the criminal investigation stems from allegations brought forward by a former employer. We know Prairie Grove Police is not investigating it, but Captain Jeff O'Brien says he could not confirm what agency is leading this charge. We don't know much else about this right now, but we will keep you updated with any new information right here on 5 News.